Hey, so I've been missing for a couple weeks, and some interesting things have happened. And I just wanted to give a personal update because this is kind of everything I do in life, I guess, is in the realm of what I talk about on this channel. So I wanted to talk about this weird little thing that happened about a week and a half ago, and what the conclusion was from that. So you may have noticed this blue ring that I wear. It is a star sapphire, and this ring was given to my mother by my father in 1965 when he was home from basic training after being drafted for Vietnam, and right before he left to actually go to Nam, where he was for 2 years. And so my parents divorced in the early 90s, and about maybe 25 years ago, I asked my mom, "Oh, where's that ring?" Because she always wore this ring, always, my whole life. I said, "Whatever happened to that blue ring?" And she told me I could have it, and I put it on and basically have never taken it off since. So I've had this ring on since probably 1997 or something. Anyway, about a week and a half ago, Matt and I were at Ace Hardware because Matt is a handyman, and he was after fixing my doors that wouldn't shut properly. I noticed that I had a light switch that was weird, and so I brought it to his attention. He offered to fix it, and we were at Ace Hardware buying this light switch, and the checkout girl said, "Hey, I think we have the same ring." And I actually took a picture of her hand next to my hand. I'll post that on my Instagram, which I will link below. And she was right. It's the exact same ring. It's the same exact setting, and the same stone and everything. So it's kind of a unique setting. You can see it's like got it's got like a little swirly edge thing. It's not just like a typical, it's obviously from the same jeweler. And so I was just like, wow, that's really weird. I mean, it's less weird because I still live in the area where my parents lived during that time. And she had told me that her uncle gave her the ring when she was like 10 years old, and he had found it tearing up carpet as a job. He was, a carpet layer or whatever, and had just found it in somebody's house. Or obviously it wasn't like owned, or he would have given it to the person, I guess. I don't know, but he found the ring, and that was how that came into her possession. So I texted a picture of the rings to my mom and my dad, and just said, what are the odds of running into this exact ring, this kind of ring that's like special to me, that is 60 years old. And they got back to me. We were chatting back and forth, my mom and my dad. And then about an hour later, my mom had shown this to my stepfather, and he called me and basically very urgently was saying, you need to pay attention that this happened. I have a recording. I recorded the call. When he called and said he wanted to talk to me about this, I said, "Oh, I got to record this for my YouTube channel." But he used a bunch of like names and stuff. I'm going to have to go through and somehow bleep out all the names that he used. But long story short, he told me that I needed to pay attention to the fact that this had happened, that I had drawn this into my existence for some reason, and that this was a significant event, seeing this ring, that the odds of coming into contact with this ring were so low that it had to have a greater meaning, and that I had caused this to happen. And interestingly, I had been thinking about my ring a lot over the few days before that. I don't quite remember what I was thinking about it. I often think about, the significance of my dad giving it to my mom, and at the time it was given, and I had been thinking about the fact that I never take it off and all this stuff. Just some thoughts had been happening. So it's a little weird that an event happened with the ring, or a little improbable, I guess. And so towards the end of this conversation with my stepfather, my mom was sort of in the background chiming in. She said, "You should call it." So they were saying, go back to the store, find the person with the ring, and, figure out like the history, get all the information you can, like this is significant. And my mom said, "You should call your dad and see what he knows about it." And I thought, I haven't talked to my dad, and I have a pretty distant relationship, and I haven't spoken to him on the phone since Father's Day. Before that, I hadn't spoken to him since Thanksgiving, and we text a lot, but I just thought, you know what, like, it's been really bothering me. Normally I would have seen him in April. I fly down there to watch the Masters with him, usually in April, but this year it didn't happen because of coronavirus. And I've been remarking a lot to Matt and to Jean, my ex. I miss my dad. I was pissed that I didn't get to see him in April. And so I started thinking, oh, okay, my dad gave this ring to my mom. My mom's telling me to call my dad. I've been thinking of the ring. I've been thinking how I miss my dad. And so my mom said to call him, and I thought, okay, I think this is about my dad. And Matt's sitting there the whole time listening to this whole thing. And I just said, you know what, like, I started freaking out. I was like, oh my God, I hope he's not, like, gonna die. I don't know what's been going on down there. I offered to drive down there, and he said no. In June, he said, I don't want you on the road. There were riots and everything were going. He said, I don't want you to do that. And I thought, oh my God, like, what if he's sick and he's not telling me? Because that's the kind of thing he would do. What if he's gained like 50 pounds? Or, I was like, I think, I said to Matt, like, I think if it were just me, I would just drive down there right now. Like, this is enough of between the coincidence with the rings and then my stepfather calling me with this urgency that I needed to pay attention to this, and then thinking about my dad, like, this is enough for me to act. I would just drive down there, like, if it were just up to me. But, like, Matt was here, and he wasn't leaving until the next day. And I don't know if it was me or him, but I think he said, I would go with you, or something happened, but basically I just said, yeah, let's go. So just happened to have a rental car. Gene had a rental car because his car was in the shop, but that he had thought the car was going to need to be in the shop for a lot longer than it was going to need to be. So we had a rental car available for a week with unlimited miles on it, because I have a little tiny car that Matt can't fit in for that kind of a drive. So there just happened to be like a rental car available at 4:00 on Sunday afternoon. So I swapped cars with Gene, and Matt and I just took off for Florida, where my dad lives. And I was just sort of freaking out the whole way down there. I kept thinking, oh my God, like, I really hope that this ring thing isn't like getting me to drive down there, because, like, this is my last chance to see my dad. I was having all kinds of crazy thoughts like that. Like, oh my God, this is the universe getting me there. Something bad is going to happen, or, something bad has already happened. I just was like flipping out. And so I drove down there, and it took a long time. We stopped like every 90 minutes. It was the longest drive. We were so tired. And got down there, and Daddy-O is totally fine. Didn't gain like 50 pounds. He appears to be healthy. Saw him for a couple hours, because of the corona thing. He's been like quarantining in his house. And we were the first people that have been in there since he started quarantining. And so I knew that he was sort of uncomfortable with it. So we spent a little time with my dad, and then we just headed back. The whole thing took 5 days. We left on Sunday night. We got back on Friday afternoon. So Matt and I ended up spending essentially 5 days driving and 1 day not driving, dealing with the dad situation in Florida. And so we got back Friday. Matt went back to Iowa yesterday and is coming back here Thursday for like another 2 weeks. And it's becoming pretty clear to me that whole situation, and I don't know how these things get created, I really don't, but it's becoming really clear to both of us, actually, that situation, the ring thing, was for me and Matt, to spend a week together in a car, and to spend a week kind of just going through this thing. Maybe it was for Matt, because I was pretty anxious the first few days. I really didn't know. I was freaked out by this whole thing. And Matt was amazing. He was awesome about it. You know, we spent a lot of time in the car talking about stuff, and the significance of being able to do that is becoming a lot clearer to me now that I'm having, you know, I had a night to myself last night. I'm having this morning to myself thinking about it. It's pretty crazy that it went down as peacefully, and like, I was so happy to be with him the whole time. Like, he was the best part of that whole thing for me. And it just seems like this is becoming, you know, clear that it was about me and Matt spending that time together and seeing what it would be like, you know, kind of like a mini meat grinder situation, as Jean would say. Just seeing what it would be like to be together under less than ideal circumstances, and while one of the parties was sort of under duress, maybe not at their best. So if there's more to the ring, one other thing did happen, actually. We were at a rest stop. This was the best trip because Matt was so cool about stopping. Like, I got to stop at all the places along the way that I really wanted to. Well, there was only a couple, and we got duped by the promise of a 13-foot alligator. It ended up being stuffed. It sounded like it was live. But, we stopped at this rest stop. Not a rest stop. We stopped at an exit and went to the sausage store. And outside the sausage store, there was a man and a woman in a car, and the man was like bald from going through chemo, and they saw Matt smoking and told him to quit smoking. That was the only notable thing that happened that I can think of on the whole trip. The only thing where a random stranger said something that could be significant was that. So we'll see what Matt does with that information. But I just thought that was kind of, you know, that's part of the reason why I've been gone, because I've literally not been home since for like a week and a half. But that's what's been going on here. It's kind of a weird little thing. I think you know, my stepfather kept saying this is a turning point. You know, this ring thing is a turning point. You drew this into your existence. You made this happen. And you know, I buy into that shit. So yeah, I mean, many things over the last week have seemed like a turning point. Matt is moving here. My relationship with Jean is improving. It's shifting to where it needs to be, which is fucking awesome. Everything is really changing for the better, and I think that this trip to Florida and this ring thing was quite significant. I'm still too close to it to really know fully how, but just wanted to give a little update about what the hell I've been doing since I've been missing and people have been inquiring. So that's it. I've been thinking about a lot of stuff having to do with the Neville Goddard stuff, and I want to start making more videos about that, so I'm going to do that. But I just wanted to get something out there about what the hell I've been doing, since it's kind of related to all of this. And that's it. Have a great day.